Okay, welcome back to this YouTube channel. So today we are going to learn about absolute value. Okay, first of all, what we are going to learn is definition of absolute value, properties of absolute value, and some examples. Let's get started. Okay, so what is absolute value? So the absolute value of a number refers to the actual size of that number, or in other words, its distance from zero. Therefore, any negative numbers within an absolute value sign become positive. So absolute value signs usually use two straight line like this and the number in between. So let's say A. Okay, so the absolute value of a number is always positive because it's showing the actual size of the number or distance from zero. So absolute value is never negative in sense. Okay, now let's see some properties of absolute values. Okay, the first properties is if A bigger than 0, then the absolute value of A is A itself. Okay. If A is positive number, it means that if it's bigger than 0 and it must be positive, then the absolute value of the number must be the number itself. Okay. Let's say for example, the absolute value of 5, this is positive number, right? Then the absolute value of 5 is also 5. Okay. The next properties is that if A less than 0, which means that it's negative number, then the absolute value of A is negative of the negative number. Okay. Let's say the example. The absolute value of negative 2 is negative of the negative 2, which is 2. Okay, so it becomes positive. So whatever the number, if the number inside the absolute value is negative, then the value of the number becomes positive. Okay, and if the number is 0 itself, then the absolute value of 0 is also 0. So 0 doesn't change, and because it's not positive or negative, it's just number in between positive integers and negative integers. Okay, these are 3 properties of the absolute value, and we still have 3 more. Let's see the other 3 properties of absolute value. Okay, next is the absolute value of A times B. It's equal to absolute value of A times absolute value of B. Okay, so you can separate them and multiply the result. Okay, for example, the absolute value of 2 times, let's say, minus 3 equals the absolute value of 2 times the absolute value of minus 3, which is the absolute value of 2 is 2 times the absolute value of minus 3 is 3. Okay, so it's 6, right? So it's just like when you multiply 2 times minus 3, 2 times minus 3 is minus 6, right? Then the absolute value of minus 6, it's also 6. Okay. Next the next property is the absolute value of a squared equals a squared. Okay, so if you have a number, example, let's say 7 squared, then the result is just the same as 7 squared, which is 49. Okay, even though the number is negative, let's say another example, -2 squared, it's just same as -2 squared, which is 4. So they are the same. And the last property is a plus b, the absolute value of a plus b always less than or equals to absolute value of a plus absolute value of b. Okay, so it depends on the number inside. Let me give you an example. Absolute value of 2 plus let's say here is -3. Okay, let's see the result. This is 2 plus -3, it means that -1, right? So absolute value of -1 is 1. Let's see the absolute value of 2 plus the absolute value of -3. So it's 2 plus 3, right? It's 5. So a1 less than 5, right? Okay, so it's always less than if we separate the addition. Okay, that's all the properties of absolute value. Now let's see some examples. Okay, let's see example number 1. Absolute value of 5 minus absolute value of -2. So absolute value of 5 is 5, right? Minus absolute value of -2 is 2. So when it's negative inside, it becomes positive. So the result is 5 minus 2 is 3. It's easy, right? And number 2, absolute value of 6 squared, it means that it's just same 6 squared, minus 3 times absolute value of 6, absolute value of -6. Absolute value of -6 is 6. So just multiply with 6. 6 squared is 36. 3 times 6 is 18, right? So 39 minus 18 is 18. Okay, so that's all. It's very easy, right? Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions, you can write down your question below in the comment section. And if you think this video is very useful and can help your friends to understand the concept of absolute value as well, then you can share this video to them. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.